that was The Verve with The Drugs Don't Work. We've been going for about half an hour here on the couch, and we're going to jump into our regular segments of the week. What should we start with? Should we start with the Ramble again?
I'll go for the Ramble, yeah.
All right, well, if we're going for the Ramble, that means I'm going to play your very, very sexy theme music.
Ooh, yeah.
This is Lachlan's Ramble.
Nice.
What have we got this week?
Well, this week I try to choose an interesting topic every week, but this week I've gone, what's for the maximum amount of times you can actually talk to somebody without knowing their name and then still ask what their name is?
Oh.
I'm sure everyone's had this little dilemma somewhere along in their lives.
Well, I met a guy through uni. He was a music performer, and I was a sound tech, so I mixed him in one of his performances, and I saw him not long after, and he came up to me and he's like, "Oh, hey Scott, how you going?" Yeah. And I'm thinking, God, what's this guy's name? Should I ask his name? But then I thought, he remembered my name. How could I be so rude to not remember his?
You feel like the shittest friend, don't you?
Well, the funny thing is, it's been 2 years since then, and I see him still. He comes into work, and he's like, "Hey Scott, what have you been up to, man? Yeah, how you going? Like, what's your name?"
I think the point of having to remember someone's name is when you're actually introducing that person to one of your other friends.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, this is...
That's very awkward.
And you got to come up with little signals with your friends to sort of be like, ask his name because I don't know it, sort of thing, you know?
I was actually talking to my dad about this topic, and he's had a few encounters like that, and he said, sometimes I just pull out my phone and pretend I have a call, and then he takes the fake call and then says, just introduce yourselves, I've got to take this call, and then he listens in to when they ask. So he tries and find out.
That's a interesting maneuver.
So what are other ways you can try and find out this friend's name without actually asking them, because you're going to be a bit embarrassed?
Actually, it's hard to describe what I mean here, but I've been in situations where we actually have to fill out forms, and if I don't know this person's name, I'll kind of try to sneak a peek at their form to see the details they're writing down.
Yeah. I've actually at uni, this is where a lot of the occurrences happen for me.
Yep.
And it's in tutes or other classes. I'll try and look on their like their stationery or their books. I'll just get a quick glance, but I don't know if I'm like going to call them by their last name or whatever. So it's a bit of a... It brings me on to, the first time you kind of, you think you know their name, and you go to say it for the first time
and
to them.
And you realise that you don't actually
know it. You're really tentative about it. So you're like, "Oh, hey, Scott."
Actually, another one in the same
kind
vein.
Of mumble it.
That, when you say a word, and just for a little moment in time, you think that word is wrong.
You have this severe doubt going through your mind.
Hang on, is that how you say it? Is that even a word?
That word does not sound correct.
Sometimes I actually get that about people's names.
Yeah.
So I'll call them their name and then walk away going, is that a name? Is that even a name? Like, what did I just do there?
Definitely. There's also, I found a new way with social networking coming out, so you can actually try and track someone down on Facebook to learn their name.
That
I
is
reckon.
true, yeah.
Just by photos. So if you know someone's friends with this person, also you can kind of look through their
you
photos,
see their tagged photos,
photos, maybe. So that's a new way I've kind of learned. So what happens if it gets what's the amount of times?
I've been going for 2 years, and
you've been going for 2 years.
I mean, I don't think I can give a good answer, really.
So what would you say on?
Well, I would say. It could be for a long time until the point you actually have to say their name. It could be a kind of friendship where you just sort of,
Yeah. Well, see, I've over the period of the last few years kind of incorporated man into my vocabulary.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, how you doing?
Yeah.
It's just natural for me. So if I don't use someone's name, I don't think they're that offended. As in, if you have an awkward situation where you're like, "Oh, hi, how you going?"
Yeah.
It just rolls off the tongue. Hey man, how you doing?
I've been saying that for years myself. Just hey man.
Yeah. It works.